it's going to look like they did take away that 20 from Philip that we thought he may have had that plan all along, and so
I was wondering because it looked like he was. It looked like he might have been going the long way.
So we start Lauren Nicholson and all have another, and she is out of the box now as we continue to bring you up to date on the division. And there's Lucienne in that tricky water.
Good girl, super. Yep.
I actually think all three of these are
I agree. I think that one's that, and she added up there on purpose. You saw that's what she was doing, and my goodness, did she do a good job there. She's going to be delighted.
So as I said, Philip clean on the jumping, 28.8 on the time, and a lot of that time just coming from his choice to go the long route in that water. Carolyn Pamucciu comes forward, 18.8 for her clock, nothing in the jumping. And Emma Klugman, what a round for her. It's just going to be 6.4 for the recent affirmed lawyer.
Good job, Emma. So I hope I'm going to put out into the universe. I'd like to see the coffin at some stage, guys, if we have it, because the coffin is really hard. I know we're not even supposed to say coffin anymore, but is it the Park Lane question? I don't know. But I walked that, and I think that's really hard.
I thought that was super ridey by Lauren. You saw that this horse came
very good.
Beautiful.
Very good.
You saw that he came to the rails and he kind of took a second to question what was going on. And then you saw her come around and say, okay, come on, we need a fire in here. Wake up. Good morning.
Yeah, and I think that again was something she wasn't quite expecting, and I think it was a light issue once again. And then she reacted quickly, showing all of her experience. And my favorite bit of that is she was positive and beautiful in her riding, and then when landing between after both of those fences says thank you.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
horses do you know, they're our partners, and they do really appreciate that, and that just helps to settle the horse and gain himself in confidence.
Well, this gelding is owned for Lauren by Randy Ratterman. She's up to 13, but begging for blood. I see him there. She's such a positive rider, though, as you said. She doesn't get in her horse's way, either on the flat or in the cross country, and she really lets them react to everything. She's there when they need them, and that's such an amazing talent that Lauren's always had.
Yeah.
There on the bottom of your screen, you see Lucienne continuing to make her way around this track with her friend Deary.
Gosh, she's going to be so excited. This horse looks awesome.
You know what I think she's done too is she's really kept a hold of him the whole time. You see her reins really short there, and she's saying, you know, I'm going to keep your balance. I'm going to keep you with me every stride of the way, and it's paying off for her.
Yep. Some horses like a bit freedom, and some horses like their handheld, and that's part of figuring it out. Good job there.
Lauren just adds a little stutter step there. But that's a testament also to their partnership, because she kind of knew that could happen, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And Lucienne's putting her foot down now.
That is clear. I've got to go water with 2 to go.
Another thing I would like to sort of say, and I'm sure you guys have noticed it as they've come up the hill to jump that big table on the way down to before those hedges, is that it's part of a keyhole sort of feeling with the tree over that. And so you'll see all these upper level riders. So if you're watching this as a lower level rider and maybe you have that on your course, think about that. You know, the shadow and the tree makes more of a keyhole effect, and how these guys are riding it is absolutely spot on.
So as Lauren comes to drop off this bank, Lucienne Bellissimo does cross the finish flags. We'll get you a time as soon as we have it for her.
Beautiful right there. Really good, Lauren. Super.
She just, every time you watch Lauren ride, to me, she's just the epitome of patience in terms of, you know, letting the horses kind of react underneath of her, like I said, and that's how you view her on the flat too, and it's such a beautiful thing to watch. She's so patient and so good in her riding.
Well, and I like watching the styles. There's the common thread of how all these riders are successful. So there's a common thread on their galloping position and where they prepare and how they do things and body control. But another thing it's fun for everybody to watch here is, you know, pick a rider that whose style you like, but also pick one whose body type is similar to yours, so you can watch that and try to emulate it. Beautiful.
Yeah, she knew exactly where she was there. She pulled in.
Perfect.
And you know what's good about this horse and
hours, all that stuff.
So as we still await a time for Lucienne Bellissimo, you see Lauren Nicholson on the bottom right of your screen there as she comes to the final portion of the track.
I love galloping down that hill. I really do. It's kind of free time, and you got to find a place where you make yourself rebalance. And for me, I have to wait till the last second because I pull too much.
Already
we go,
stood
Frankie.
through the adequate
Nice.
water.
So this horse doesn't have the biggest stride of our competition, but you see how well
She
Allie
knows it.
knows him so well. She came down that hill. She never even faltered in terms of taking an extra pull. She just kept coming right down the hill, and she finds the stride.
Yeah. Smooth is fast, and you know the rideable horses are fast, right? So that's if it takes Allie 2 less strides to rebalance for every fence than it would take me, without doing anything else, she's a good 20 minutes coming into that arena. But I will say that it never gets old.
Well, a lady we have watched do very well at this ring in the past, Lauren Nicholson, and All Have Another. They join us now. This very exciting horse for Lauren, owned by Brandy Ratterman. Yesterday, they added 18 time faults to their dressage score, come forward in 27th place.
Third Saratoga. And we're over the winner.
Lauren's such a great horse person. You see her, patting the horse before they start, saying, "Hey, we're coming to this big environment, and I've got you, and you've got me, and let's go to the best we can tonight."
Absolutely, and you saw that yesterday on the cross-country course. I was really impressed with how she handled that first big, water, and the horse had a bit of a peak and was a little rattled, and she just gave him a little bit of a pat, and then rode very well down to the second element of the big brush in the open water, and then gave him another pat on the way out, and that does just help them to take a breath, and I couldn't agree with you more, Frankie. Yeah.
She really saw her shot there.
Yeah, she
over
did.
that.
She did. That was living a little bit, but she knows her horse. She absolutely knows her horse. A little bit of a rattle at the square oxer there, but we get away with it. Beautiful inside turn here. Again, thinking about the time. Yeah, well done.
And Lauren, one of our riders, is always so patient, and then as soon as she sees her shot, you can definitely tell, and she is right on the money. Just a little rattle again there, but keeps it in its cups.
That was well done. Very well done, because that again is a little bit of a closed up distance there if you do that.
So just the final fence for All Have Another. Beautiful round.
Great job.
Yeah,
Great job.
Super.
Great job.
So a great finish for this combination. And all smiles there in a big wave for Lauren Nicholson, rightfully so this evening. So a double clean, and that puts the pressure because things are very tight in our final 25. So cross country and Jay Hamley's track that his team has set out there. And man, have those guys been hard at work, because they have so many tracks. We have 26 divisions in total. And you know what's remarkable is when you look out at the cross country here as we get ready to welcome Lauren Nicholson, it doesn't look claustrophobic or congested. There are so many fences and so many levels, yet it still looks beautifully placed and open and gallopy and really well done.
Yeah, it is a true championship course, though. All of these courses are definitely
to the level.
Yep.
Lauren Nicholson, All Have Another, are next to see here in the $60,000 Advanced Adequan Final. So you're going to be one of our competitors that gets to go later this afternoon. It's a full day of experience here in the advanced dressage. And later on, we are going to switch our commentary over to that prelim and intermediate cross country and shake things up a bit, but you'll be able to, of course, watch this live still at the same time. But Shannon, for me, when you think about this test as a rider, how do you visualize it? Do you visualize, going around the ring? You obviously know where it is now. So for you, that last piece of maximizing those points, what does that look like for your preparation?
I am a big visualizer, and so but everything happens in the corners or the turn, like we have corners because of where the changes are and how the test is set up. So I do think so much happens there. Like, you have to make sure that you get the half fault and be very definitive about your half faults, so you prepare the horse. So much of it Like everything happens much more smoothly if the preparation is there.
I think, speaking of preparation too, I mean, this is really interesting what Lauren's choosing to do around the ring. She let the horse out a little bit. She was walking, then she heard the whistle, and using all of her 45 seconds not to be rushed at all or kerfluffled, just, using every moment she can to kind of stretch back into the contact, then pick the horse up before the center line.
Yes, I'm pretty sure this horse hasn't been out since Bromont in the forelong, if I'm correct. And Lauren is masterful at training the horses, right? So that was all very calculated. Like, she let him out probably because he feels a little bit tight or a little bit tense. And so she, I'm sure, did that to get him to relax a little bit and take a breath before he goes down the center line.
Well, All Have Another is owned by Brandy Ratterman, a 2013 Latvian warm blood. Never heard of that before. There's so many breeds these days. You can probably say it better than I can. But Lauren representing Ocala, Florida, and has had so much success in her career. She's such an incredible horsewoman. And this horse most recently competed at Bromont just a few weeks ago, actually, in the 3-star short. Prior to that, you're right, back at Bromont where they were 5th in the 4-star long. So getting some stamps on their Canadian passport this summer, this duo.
That's right. She did the 3 short a couple weeks ago. Yeah, you don't see many Latvian bred horses.
My coffee hadn't kicked in on reading yet this morning. That happens. But, I think Lauren took that moment before coming in, and you see this horse wanted to get a little bit tight, but now it is reaching to the connection for her. You can see just in those moments a little bit extra on the aids.
Yeah, he just looks a little bit like he wants to curl here in the walk and drop the connection some. This is better.
The thing about Lauren that I'm always so impressed with her riding, I mean, many things, but she's always so incredibly patient. If you watch her in a test, it always seems like she has such patience throughout the entire test. And that's a skill that's also learned as a rider, right? To have that patience, to maximize each movement, but to not be hurried to do it.
Yes, she is patient in all that she does when training the horses, riding the horses, showing the horses as she competes them and presents them. She does a great job because it's about the whole picture and the journey, not so much the one moment. And so
this one looks full of run and ready to go, and you see her using every single moment and all her knowledge there. Yeah, and you can see he just really is keen to do the job. And she says, "Okay, we're gonna get through this one. Come on." But you could see even when she went to pick up that canter, she had to go haunches in a little bit because she was trying to keep a hold of him just a tad there and have a good depart.
He's really excited to do these changes.
You talk about the support that all these riders have, so many amazing owners that Lauren has, but also her family. And you could see in our screen, you'll see again in a moment as they navigate this half pass in the canter, her mom and dad appear. And how many times have those two sat and watched dressage or cross country or stood in the kiss and cry? And they continue to show up. That's for darn sure. And it is in this sport having the right people in your corner on all the days.
Yes, absolutely.
Much better that direction.
Yes, that was much better. I think as she's going through the test, she's just training him now. Like she's using those movements, like that half pass. She was really trying to get her point across that this is where the hind legs need to go, and this is what my leg means.
But as she's doing that, because she's never getting combative or against him, he is starting to say, "Oh, okay."
Right, right.
Well, a little excitable, but some good moments to boot and a good halt to finish it out. And Lauren looks like she'll have plenty in the gasoline tank come tomorrow. And I think these riders are going to want every bit of the gas that they have in that tank.
Yes.
Tell us about the cross country, Shannon, and what you think of the track.
It's hard. Like, I don't want to sound like that sounds, but it is. I mean, Jay has made it like it is truly a championship course.
As it should be.
It's